Hello on the Rockers. Today we have the veterans of the acting world from screen, stage, web series, you name it, with over hundreds of credits to their names, also trailblazing for the LGBTQ community, Jason Stewart and Mitch Hara, the stars of the hit show Smothered. With me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass, let the drinks begin. It's On the Rocks.
A banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord have mercy. Buns and bows and pantyhose. On the Rocks podcast, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. Girl, we got shenanigans. I can already tell. Shenanigans have already started. But real fast, want to hang out with On the Rocks on the road? Want to buy me a drink? Behind the Golden Curtain. This Friday, May 26th to the 28th in the Bay Area at the beautiful Orinda Theater. Anybody who's a Golden Girls fan, this is the Lollapalooza of Golden Girls. Everything. I hate to word it this way, but it's this way. Every person that's still alive who's been an executive producer, a writer, or a guest star, one of your favorite guest stars, they're all coming for 3 days. And I'm talking the guest stars from your favorite episodes where, like, the neighbor girl got pregnant, Big Daddy's younger fiance. They're all going to be there. Also, Mark Cherry, Stan Zimmerman, Marsha Posner Williams, Terry Hughes. If you're a fan, you know exactly what names I'm talking about. So buy your ticket for all 3 days. On Sunday, I will be doing an afternoon on the Lanai with season 1 writer Stan Zimmerman. We're going to be talking about the reality of what happened in season 1 of The Golden Girls. Not as fun as you think. Anyway, so go to arindatheater.com for more information, but that is this Friday through Sunday. Also, On the Rocks will be on the scene for Out at the Fair at San Diego County Fair on June 10th. I will be your MC for the drag show. And we know, gay days at a county fair with everything going on, I give courage to these queens that are taking the stage. I'll be off on the side with that because drag is not a crime. Anyway, but go to outatthefair.com. We're going to be at San Diego County Fair. It's always a really, really fun day. There's musicians all day. It's a family affair. And the drag show is always a highlight. I'm so honored to be a part of that. Okay, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at On The Rocks On Air and on Facebook, On The Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care. I will be there. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. The show is presented by Straw Hat Media. You can watch and or listen to our now over 300 episodes at ontherocksradioshow.com. You can watch us on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, on the Outlet.tv app, Facebook Watch if you're still on Facebook, streaming with pride on SVTV, and on Channel 31 on the East Coast, by the way. Why the East Coast, Tony? They just couldn't have enough of us. No idea. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. I'm very excited. There's a lot of personality in this room is all I'm going to say. Mitch Hara escaped to New York at the age of 19 in what sounds like some epic HBO special. He was invited to join the acclaimed Actors Studio. There he performed in several off-Broadway plays as well as comedy clubs, Studio 54, and of course his most famous stints in rehab. While pole dancing on 42nd Street, he was called to L.A. to do whoa, I missed it. Eddie Dodd, it's a pilot with Treat Williams, which we love Treat Williams, by the way. He's guest starred on numerous series, including a recurring role on ER, several pilots and film roles that include The Art of Dying with Wings Hauser. He's written, directed, and performed in 5 critically acclaimed plays, winning Outstanding Performance Award from Backstage for his portrayal of Sister Coco, Call Me Ishmael, which is a mental patient drag queen nun. DeSantis loved it. In the tragic and horrible life of the singing nun, which we know the singing nun. Do you know that the nun who sang Dominique, she committed suicide? Did you know that?
She did.
I just found that out, and it's very sad. Anyway, more recent acting credits include co-starring role in the pilot I Run Hot for AMC Peacock with Alana Grazer and the pilot Sonny's Closet as Tay-Tay, the gaslighting, scheming executive assistant, a.k.a. my ex.
Yeah.
Yes. His short-form series Smothered that we're here to talk about today, co-written, co-starring our other guest, Jason Stewart, went viral on Amazon Prime.
Our other guest?
I haven't gotten to you, bitch.
Just relax.
Voted top 10 to binge, and I'm telling you, it's a binge. Season 2 of Smothered dropped on Amazon, Reverie, and internationally. And Mitch is now on stage doing his award-winning solo show, Mutant Olive. which we're going to talk about, like, what the hell is that? Because I've had a lot of mutant olives in my drinks, so we're going to talk about that. Rave reviews, getting ready to tour Chicago, London, and Edinburgh, all over the place. Look for him on Grindr in those cities. He's worked or had sex with, and I'd love to see the distinction, John Travolta, Maura Tierney, Susan Lucci, Sally Kirkland, John Savage, Doris Roberts, Joe Manganiello, which you directed
I directed him.
Karen Black, Marlon Wayans, Elliot Glazer, Colton Haynes, and half of New York City.
True.
Including...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Including... Okay. His inner child is alive, well, and always ready to play. He never takes no as an answer. For him, no is just a slow yes.
Yes.
Please welcome Mitch Hara.
Hey, everybody. Ow!
On my right, and this is such a weird coincidence. He was a guest almost to the day. Remember I sent you the memory? Almost to the day, Jason Stewart was a guest on my original podcast show before podcasting was even a thing 10 years ago. Jason, of course, we know is an entertainer of many trades, celebrating the 30th anniversary of coming out on the Geraldo show with the words, "I'm gay, deal with it." And that was my impersonation, by the way. And there's the picture, by the way.
Oh, my God.
His accomplishments are, not kidding, wide and varied. He has almost 265 film and TV credits to his name as a character actor and a comedian, from a plantation owner in the historical drama The Birth of a Nation. And I had to go back and watch because I'm like, let's see.
You watched it? Wait, you watched that movie?
I was the second person to watch it, yes. Yeah. No. Big film. No, but honestly, we joke. It was a big film. Because I had to see how butch he was. But also, it did...
Hard times for small farmers like you and myself. Breaking even's hard enough. Getting ahead's impossible.
You need to do an OnlyFans just under that character.
I don't need an OnlyFans. I have a boyfriend for that.
Was that a bit? I don't know
It's
what's
a
allowed.
bit.
It's a bit. Okay, we're going to
It's
talk
a
about
bit. I don't have a
boyfriends.
boyfriend.
Okay. Also,
yeah.
he was in David E. Kelly's series Goliath, starring Billy Bob Thornton, by the way. He's been one of a few who have been able to play both gay and straight roles, literally. Fans laughed out loud at his work as a therapist on My Wife and Kids and in Love from executive producer Judd Apatow, by the way. They couldn't get enough of him playing him powerless managers.
Yeah, a lot of them. Probably 20 or 30.
But of course, on The Closer with Kira Sedgwick, who has become such an ally to our community, especially during drag.
Always.
Kira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon have set up that campaign that drag is an art. # drag is an art. So thank you, Kira. Love her, by the way. Love her.
Very sweet woman.
If they were both in a room and like you could only spend time with one person, Kevin Bacon or Kira, it would be like Sophie's Choice. I wouldn't know. It's like, okay.
I played with both. So.
Can't wait to write for season 3 of Smothered. Fan of my word. Jason has worked opposite everyone in Hollywood, from Oscar winners J.K. Simmons, George Clooney, Angelina Jolie, and Faye Dunaway. He's also worked with film and TV icons Arnold Schwarzenegger, Damon Wayans, and of course, we have to take a moment, Angela Lansbury.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
I
God.
did Murder, She Wrote.
I
Yeah.
did Murder, She Wrote.
You
Oh,
guys,
you did too, yeah.
Yeah.
So Murder, She Wrote is back in rotation.
I know, because I'm
reruns?
getting
Oh,
checks.
I know. I got checked.
I did too. I got hit in my head. I played a hotel manager. I got hit on the head, and then all of a sudden they find me on the floor, and I kept reading the script, and I said, how did I get hit? How did it happen? How did I get on the floor?
And I was a fashion photographer with doves flying out of cages.
When doves cry.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but here's the thing. When I watched Murder, She Wrote was with my grandma, and it was every Sunday, and we would watch and watch and watch. Now rewatching it, because I was like, oh, come back to whatever. We forget what a nosy bitch Jessica Fletcher was.
100%.
She never had to pay for a meal or a trip in her life, because it was like, oh, be my guest. Did you ever see her take out her wallet? Then you end up dead. But she's so nosy.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to watch this.
I just know her in real life as Angela. Or as
Well, me
she
and
told me
There
to
we
call her
go.
Angela. She said, get Jason another line. He's so good. He's so great. Get him another line. I thought she was into cocaine. I didn't know.
No, she could have been.
Well,
You have to read
What
his
a lesbian.
autobiography, Shut Up, I'm Talking, which I've said many times on this show. It came out to rave reviews, and now it's in a third printing, by the way.
Yeah.
He's received the Indie Series Award for Best Actor in a Comedy for the series that we're here to talk about, Smothered,
yay.
which
Season
he co-created
one.
with Mitch Hara. Also recently won the Worldwide Comedy Award for Best LGBTQ Comedian, and was honored in the 100 Out. Can you play that picture again, Tony? By the way, it's a beautiful picture. The 100 Out for the prestigious Out magazine. That's a photo. And I just have to tell you that somebody that's seen your career, it's a little sad that just now we're getting all these accolades, but they're coming in.
It only took 29 years.
Right? No, but
45.
welcome to LGBTQ entertainment. He will also be taping the Laugh Proud comedy special on July 1st. for filmmaker Quentin Lee. Please welcome Jason Stewart.
Yay!
Okay, we're going to talk about everything. But I want
You
to
know, wait. I got to say something. I feel like we're on Password. This looks like the Password set,
too.
don't you?
But we look good.
Yes, we do. There's so much light here. I only
Thank
have a
you,
nose.
Alex.
You guys look phenomenal.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not the way we really look. Come
No,
on.
it's the way I look.
Oh, come
These
on.
will be their new Grindr profiles, by the way. They'll be like,
100%. Hang
He's
on.
56 feet away from you.
Mitch, don't use that picture on Grindr. They won't know that you're an old puppet.
Well, don't make me say horrible things.
We promise. We have a truce.
You
we have
wanted
a
me
truce.
to be nice to you
I did.
today.
I'm
and now
sorry.
you just opened the door, Puffy.
I'm not puffy. I'm beefy. I'm working out.
If he's puffy, what am I?
Don't even start. Don't open that door.
I'm an empanada. Okay.
You're a taquito.
We're going to talk about your roles, and I don't say this lightly, as trailblazers for LGBTQ entertainment. Because
It sort of touched me, honestly, to watch all that.
a lot of people have touched
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah, well.
Thank God.
Not enough.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, "Arr." Tale as old as time.
Oh, you are a singer.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Please don't judge me on that.
Well, that made me want to go to the show.
No.
He has this no button that he found. I don't know how.
A snow button?
No button.
Oh, what?
I said I was a top on another show today,
And you said no.
Yep. But before we get to the trailblazing, I want to know. I'm always fascinated, and we start the show by asking what makes you tick. So I want to know what kind of kids were you? And it's such a cliche question, but like I really want to know.
I guess we can.
I love that question. We have so much in common.
We
could-
really do. We
could
really do. I was
actually
going to say
it
the
and do
exact.
it. We could
I was
do
going
it.
to say
I
the
know you
same
were.
exact
Of course
thing.
you were.
Well,
No, but it's
you
true.
were born
That's
in the Bronx.
I was
then
born
came to
in the-
Fairfax.
Yeah, I lived in
Couldn't
Lo-
get more Jewish.
Right.
I grew up in the Fairfax area. I grew up with my father was a Holocaust survivor. My mother was a beautician. She loved the
My
name.
father was in the mafia, and my mother was a whore.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, my mother loved to give me a little whiskey drink. I'd lie down. She'd go shopping, have sex with all the neighbors. So very
Yeah.
similar. My
Yeah.
dad was a real businessman. He was, but nobody got hurt.
Right. My father was an alcoholic and a speed freak.
I feel like I'm watching Sally Field and Sybil.
My father could barely speak English. His father didn't
My
have
father
to.
slurred
He didn't have to speak because he just,
because he just shot people.
exactly. I was just going to say that. But we were both pretty abused kids, honestly. To be seriously, both of us were picked on a lot. Both of us
Just bullied.
bullied. Yeah.
Bullied by peers and by teachers. I mean,
And by our family.
And
I
by our
was gonna say,
family.
like,
Yes.
Oh,
families.
which was and I have a
Closer to the microphone.
We'll have a whole, we'll talk about Mutant Olive because it's a twisted love letter to my parents, but it's like what happens to you when you go through that kind of shit.
Okay, so let's take a step. Let's take a breath.
Yeah.
Because I really want to get to this because the sincerity of your youth, the seriousness of your youth adds to the comedy and it adds to this big personality. Not to put myself on your same level, but having a big personality, people always expect you to be on. On. It's like, well, there's a lot that went to making this.
100%.
There's a lot that affects us every day.
Yeah.
That's a little serious in nature.
Correct.
So I want to focus on that because this creates this.
Of course.
It creates the art. It creates the humor. A lot of people that have had really great lives are not funny at all. People that have grown up rich, not funny at all. Right?
That's very true.
People that had well-established, good parents are boring as fuck. Because where's their...
Are you allowed
can
to
you
say that?
Can
You're
you
allowed to
swear?
say the F
You,
word?
it cost me $10 per swear word. I'm good for it.
It's already cost him 20
Okay.
bucks.
Good.
I have Mosaic PR credit card. We're good.
Oh, good. Okay.
They're just gonna
F.
they're just gonna charge us. So
Yeah.
please.
Exactly.
No, I mean with with just like lovely parents. I mean, you don't get good material.
So, Mitch,
Yes.
you joke about, well, I had to, I had all this frenetic speed freak and alcoholism,
Yeah.
but that's a reality that you had to grow up with.
100%.
Can you share a little bit about that reality?
Sure. I mean, I grew up like you don't know any different. So I grew up. It was havoc, and no place was safe.
We're talking about a young age.
I was a six. Well, all of my references are kind of like from 2 to 6, because that's where I was kind of formed.
Yeah.
And seriously, everybody who's seen my one-man show, it's quite colorful and it looks dangerous, and it's really hysterical. But it's also the flip side. It's really heart-wrenching because there's this 6-year-old kid who's trying to fix shit. You know,
At 6 years old.
at 6 years old, my mom's having affairs all over the place. My father's an alcoholic drug addict, and I found his gun. I mean, you know, there's.
Can I just say something about this? Let me just no kid.
No, go ahead.
When Mitch and I were talking and writing the first time, we talked about our childhoods a lot, and he wait. Now I say he's been very open about it, but before he didn't really want to mention that his father was
a hitman.
and he said, "I'm not sure I really want to talk about this." So it was a really big deal for him to do that. So I'm really proud of him. First, number one, because that's a hard thing to talk about in public. And he might get arrested after this. Who cares?
No, they're dead.
But
They're
it's
dead.
also been glamorized by Hollywood, like, oh, hitman,
Exactly.
I'm in the mafia.
But
It's like,
100%.
But what it does,
100%.
there is a line in it that I
Well,
said
he
that
thinks-
Ralph says. What is the line that Ralph says? I think having a
A
father
hitman for a father
it has affected him
affected you emotionally, and I'm like, no,
it hasn't. But it really has. It really does.
Well, see, I don't know if that's true.
I do, and I know better
think
than you.
The emotionality of the father rejecting me for being who I am. Because
talking about
my
a
father's
6-year-old
6 feet
boy.
tall, blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, he wanted a football player. And he got this creative little gypsy boy
Let's say that mildly.
that would rather, be totally dressed up with a cape
And we're
and
talking
fly
about-
around the house.
And we're talking about a hitman who has to have a level of coldness that you shut off because you have to be able to boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're this young kid, so where do you develop this vigor for life? Where do you develop your personality when all you have around you is this, I hate to say it, but negativity?
It was a process. I was trying to fit in, and I was trying to be who I thought everybody wanted me to be. But that was destroying me, because it was like, I'd rather be something genuine and be 100% successful than be this fake,
You develop a wall, a really thick wall, a really thick guard.
And then I just became slowly but surely I started liking myself, who I was, and I developed a fuck you attitude.
Once you get to that
That's
point, it changes
that's
the whole world.
$60 now.
And after 60 plus, I became a human. I became my own human, and it's like you don't care, and nothing is sacred. I will use all my material, which I do.
Yeah.
And I access it all the time.
Well, let's be
I
honest, an
access
artist's
the
best
heartbreak.
material is from
100%. And I know how to make any tragedy funny.
Well,
And
look,
that's what you do to survive as a kid.
to survive.
To
I
survive.
think that's the biggest
I found
thing.
my humor. Jason did
Humor.
too. It stopped people from spitting on my head. It stopped people from beating you up, didn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Your peers.
Yeah, definitely.
Your
but
father?
also, in my family, my father was a Holocaust survivor, and my father. So when you grow up with somebody who had an incredibly awful childhood, my father always used to say to me, "What are you so upset for? Why are you crying? I didn't have a piece of bread to eat." I said, "Dad, I'm 8. I have no idea what you're talking about." I didn't understand. I wasn't able to comprehend what had gone on. But I did grow up, and I am the son of a Holocaust survivor, and that never, ever leaves me. That's always part of me. My mom was poor Brooklyn trash, so poor growing up. She got married at 17. My parents got pregnant like everyone else did. My mother fell in the shower, but they always used to say. So my mother married someone she hardly knew. So I grew up with two people that hardly knew each other.
Out of security and safety.
Oh, there was no security and safety. It took me until I was around 30 years old. And my friend Frankie had come to a Passover dinner at my house, and everybody's sitting there, and they're all talking and yelling and screaming. And, my brother looks at me and says, "God, your hair looks like crap." And I said, "Well, you look fat." And he said, "Is that the way you talk to each other?" I said, "What do you mean?" I had no idea. And then I realized, this is so mean. And that was my change in going into the, my life, my program of my life, the 12-step program, honestly, to learn how to get rid of the wreckage of my past and to learn to become a man and to become a human being. It was really, just what I thought was so different. And also, it went right into school. I was pushed around on a bus like a football. People would bomb my house. Somebody, when I was in the 7th grade, had scraped with a nail very lightly on my locker, "fag." I hope I don't have to pay $20 for that. And you could only see it when the light hit it at a certain time, like right before I was going home every day. And I saw that every day, and I never said anything to anybody. And it changed who I was. you know. And also, when we are older men, we're men of a certain age, so when we grew up, we did not exist. There was no one like us. We had a choice of either living in the closet, or all we heard is terribly bad things about what it would be. I remember looking in the World Book Encyclopedia, and the word homosexual was there, and I thought it said mentally ill. That book just
It was a mental illness.
slapped, but
was,
it was 1971, and it just slapped shut. And I thought, that's 10 years of therapy, and it was for me, because you
really
knew
funny
that
is
you
I
were
just went
crazy.
the other way.
You were just crazy. You just thought,
Because
okay.
I got very creative, and as a crazy
No.
artist, it's shocking.
No.
But it's like I just turned all of that as a rebellion, and I really you want something
It's
to
like a
look
sink
at.
or swim.
100%. You want to look at something? I'm going to give you something to look at. You want to say something? I'm going to give you something to talk about. So I just flew around like a crazy bat. You know, I was
You haven't stopped
and I
since.
haven't stopped since. You know, so like when to chill out and to like get dramatic or get genuine is a new thing.
It's naked. It's scary.
It's 100% naked, and that's why I love doing my show, my one-man show.
Which we are
Mutant
definitely
Olive, Mutant
gonna-
Olive.
Mutant Olive.
Oh, you'll get there.
But Jason, I want to go back to the Holocaust. You said a comment. It's like, oh, you know, we didn't have bread to eat, and you're like, I was 8 years old. I don't know. But generations and generations go by not knowing what that actually means. We don't know.
Well,
the severity
my
of the
father,
Holocaust.
father was living in basements, and he was hiding, like Adrian Brody and the pianist, and he was hiding in basements and in farms and in attics, and he did that for 7 or 8 years. So you grow up with somebody with that idea of don't talk, don't keep your head down, don't make such a mess, don't nobody has to hear what you're saying, go to work. But what it really taught me, the best thing about my dad taught me, is he's passed 11 years now, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about him, is that he taught me how to pursue my career. He taught me how to take care of myself. I put on, you know, like Tom Cruise, you know, like this. I always think of Tom Cruise just looking right for the prize in my career. He taught me how to work, how to go after things, how to become completely indispensable. And I was the opposite of Mitch. He was much more flamboyant, much more. When I was younger, I didn't, you know, I was just trying to be a character actor. And then I realized that nobody wanted me. And then they would tell us right to our faces in those days because it was okay. So then I started doing stand-up. And then I started wearing these ridiculous outfits, thinking that, you know, I wore zebra pants and a leopard jacket, and I spiked my hair, and I danced in a circle because I didn't want anybody to know I was gay. That's how insane I was. So I was so completely out of touch with who I was and how other people perceived me and how I perceived myself, because I didn't exist. We are sort of the two of us we're the originals. We're the people from that time that are still around to tell these stories.
And how sad is it? It's like, oh, let's make us the joke before other people make the joke. Like, that's the saddest thing, which I think is the sincerity that comes across with Smothered. Smothered is quick, it's fast, it's hilariously funny.
Yeah.
Using two words in the same context.
I love it.
But at the same time, there's this realness
Uh-huh.
behind it, which I think is a sincerity
And
that
what
you
we
bring to the
didn't-
characters.
thank
And
you.
this is why I wanted to bring it down and talk about this.
It was our goal. It was definitely our goal.
in especially season 2.
Yeah.
Jason and I wanted the humor and the causticness and the relationship, because we have the sick, you know, chemistry. We could talk over each other all day fucking long. But what we wanted...
$80 now. That's $80.
It's all right. They'll charge us. Then, but...
Mosaic.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for his side.
Oh, you still will.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
Two bottoms to make a right. Okay.
Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
No.
Yeah, it's
You
not
should be so
gonna
excited. I'm a top.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Are you hitting on him?
Not yet.
Oh, God.
I'll be much more obvious.
Let's flash
than
back to
that.
10 years ago, that episode, Jason. You were
Ooh.
hitting on a lot.
Oh, boom.
In my act, it wasn't real. He's for real. Go ahead, tell us.
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
You were talking about like the sincerity of
Oh, the
of
sincerity
characters.
thanks for like.
And
being-
season 1
being
is
all right.
very different from season 2. The first episodes of season 1, which if you want to binge, it's delicious morsels of episodes.
In 25 minutes, you can binge the whole first episode.
And it's all about developing. You see the relationship with the characters. You see them
And
in
it's
therapy.
it's hysterical.
You see, it's very funny, and you see where they're going, and you see
a
how
hideous couple
and
who
what
can't
happens to
stand
them,
each other,
right?
who
and
can't
afford
to
get divorced. And you can see that all at smotheredtv.com. Don't worry about trying to find out. Everything is on that
Yeah,
site.
smotheredtv.com.
Okay, since we're talking about it, let's take a look at the trailer for season 2 of Smothered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just to know what we're talking about.
Okay.
It's my first time being arrested. My eyes were closed. My mouth was open.
Will you just email me those pics so I can put a little filter on before I send them to my peeps?
Everyone hates you.
I think they're overreacting.
I don't just hang myself with these cum-stained sheets.
You need a little help with that? Is it my fault? I cast a huge shadow.
It's not that big.
Our parole officer had tears in his eyes.
And you are?
The plumber?
I didn't know we had a plumbing problem.
Well, we don't anymore.
Shut up.
Shut up. Lick my balls.
I would if you'd shaved.
Die.
I'm already dead.
I know.
Kat, I'm not comfortable being called a white whore.
Really? It makes me feel seen.
So you better be sure.
I think the most telling thing is that you have great names that have guest starred. The focus is still always on you.
100%.
Well, we wanted to do a show about these two guys, but we also wanted the people who came in to have parts that had beginning, middle, and ends, and we were lucky enough to have that. One of the gals in there was Nicole Evans from Superstore. We
Amazing.
had Jay Rodriguez from Queer Eye and Bros. Amanda Burst did 3 episodes for Married with
We
Children.
love Amanda Burst.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
Who
amazing.
trailblazed also on TV.
You know what's so
Yes.
funny is I met her in Palm Springs where I live now,
That's where I
and
met
we
her.
were at this some event, and we were the 2 celebrities. That shows how big the event was. And and she insisted that we had met before, and I said to her, "How can you? What are you talking about? I would remember meeting Amanda Burst. I wouldn't forget that I met, an iconic star." She says, "No, I know, and we've become really close friends, and I just adore her, and she was kind enough to do this and play this part."
For those who don't know, she was on Married with Children.
Yeah,
She
for,
was
for
the next
11
She
years.
caused a lot of controversy while coming out on
Yes.
one of the top shows. At the
93,
time.
she came out of The Advocate. I came out on Geraldo the same exact year. It was a big year for people coming out. I guess it's when it all started before Ellen and Rosie and Elton and Ricky and Lucy and Desi.
And Desi.
And who else?
It sounds like a Sondheim song.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
And Lucy and Desi and Desi and blah, 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 blah. Into the gay.
And we have who else? Ida Rodriguez. We have a lot of Rodriguezes who has this.
Well, you
wonderful-
don't have them all, do you?
Well, there's always season 3.
Yes, if you pay for it, you
We
can
need
be in
another.
it.
Yeah, boom.
So we have her. We also have
much?
we have this
It's on Mosaic.
wonderful gender fluid actor Armand Field.
Armand Field is
He's just
delicious.
brilliant, and he's in a couple episodes.
He's the one I'm kissing in the trailer. He's fabulous. And then the little Greek boy,
Oh, of course. We don't-
Voss.
Voss is now on a series
love how you
on
just-
Hallmark.
Well, he is a
Not-
little Greek boy.
This is what he does always. He always puts someone to the lowest common denominator, rolls them up, and then eats them alive.
I do want to shift it back a little bit because we are going to talk all about Smothered.
Sure.
But and you guys, it's so funny since we come from like a bullied past that the focus is always on something else. And so I've been trying to
Oh.
focus on you guys for this.
Have we?
And it's
Oh.
always like, this is my project.
Great.
This is my persona. This is it. We keep going past that. We were having a great conversation. We're going to
Get
go back to
back.
that.
Get back.
But isn't that funny that that's our natural
It
inclination?
is. It's hysterical. Because Jason was talking about the difference between our parents and how our perceptions and how we built our personality and how we overcame whatever we were going through was his parents, was the Holocaust. My parents were peacock people. My father was bigger than life. He was like the 13th baby he was the baby of 13. So once he had a baby, he wasn't the baby anymore. So I stole the crown.
Wow.
So he had to kill me.
There was like that jealousy thing.
100%.
God, this sounds like Shakespeare.
And my mother,
Isn't all life Shakespeare?
yeah. My
Daddy
mother,
issues.
100%.
Love
I hope,
issues.
I hope not, because I
100.
don't understand half of it.
I know. But when
I
you
want to see Jason Stewart as Hamlet.
Oh, yeah.
To
To
be
be
or not to be?
that is the question.
Yeah. And I'll do the shrew.
You don't have to do. You don't have to do it. You are.
I knew it. I could have written that. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Kadam.
No, but our parents are very similar. Both of them. I would say my mother was a very big star when I was a kid, but didn't have a film. My father was a king. He didn't have a country. I'm an actor. Please love me. That's what it was. My parents were all of our parents were flamboyant, but it was also that time when these were the parents who wanted to give you things and stuff that they didn't have growing up. that was the time of that. That was more important than time or attention or love or a little squeeze or something.
And nobody
you know.
talked about mental health. Like
Oh,
that wasn't
hell
part of it,
no.
or identity.
What's
it's like,
that?
suck that up. Have a cookie.
When I come from
Yeah,
Latino,
right.
it's like, just pray the rosary, you'll be fine. I'll be like, okay.
Where do you think the title of my book came up? Shut up, I'm talking. I'm talking. You know, that's my mom.
Yeah.
And his mother and my mother, when we both do them, they both have cigarettes. Everyone
100%.
smoked. They all
My
smoked.
mother was pregnant, smoking with martinis.
That was the thing. That's what you
So
did.
was mine. When I saw Beth in Mad Men in the market,
My parents were madmen.
yeah, she was walking down. I remember shopping, and she's smoking, drinking a Diet Coke that she stole because my mother stole them.
Oh, yeah.
all the time. She
So
says,
Diet Coke, nobody was buying them at that time.
"Oh no," she says, "I spent enough money here. I should get things for free." And I just started to cry.
I say
because
that's the
thought
Abbey.
that-
I'm just like,
But I did.
I understand.
I started to cry because that was my mother smoking and pregnant. I didn't smoke that much.
but
you know.
nobody told you that was bad. In fact, there was
No.
ads. But Jason, I want to talk about
You
your mom.
encouraged my mom. Yeah.
You have a beautiful relationship with your mom now in Palm
Yes.
Springs. You don't
Yes.
live with her, you live adjacent.
Hashtag I don't live with my mother. I live next door.
That's also on his grinder. It's like, I can host, just not during Jeopardy.
Well, I don't care about Jeopardy. Just don't get me during some of my other shows.
But Jason, that always wasn't the case. You shared with me your coming out story with your mom. Can you tell our audience?
Oh, which when my 20s?
Yeah. When
Oh, we're
you-
going back there.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my
'Cause we're
God.
talking about how like a relationship can evolve.
So my mom was, God, there's so much to tell about that. I don't even know where to start. I guess
You guys went out to dinner.
we went out to lunch in Beverly Hills. And somehow we were talking, and I switched the conversation around so I wouldn't have to. And she says, "So, have you ever had sex with a guy?" I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She says, "What do you mean? What do I mean? Have you ever?" And I said, "Yeah." So she thought that I was bisexual, and I said, "No."
She had ears, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't like that then. It wasn't like that
I'm
then.
teasing.
And I also had a girlfriend for 5 years.
I had.
You know,
I
so
was engaged to be married.
And I was married.
yes. So we all went
to a
What's
real
her
woman.
phone number? We need to get her on the air.
Boom.
Is that?
Oh, please.
She didn't even know.
No, I don't even want
Yeah.
mine. Mine just called me.
Andy.
After 40 years, my girl.
Oh,
my
no, when
ex-girlfriend-
Smothered is going to have 10 seasons
Wait a
with all of
second.
this.
Wait.
Exactly.
So my ex-girl or ex or I
Please,
don't know.
when I
she-
did my 10th step, I had a caller.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah.
God, no. I already apologized to her. Enough.
I apologize to anybody I ever came
It was
in contact
Sofia
with.
Vergara. She's like, I just needed to come to the Modern
Yes,
family.
exactly. What are you talking about?
I was shocked that she called me recently.
The old girlfriend?
Yeah, I told you that.
She's lonely.
You don't say.
Or
I hope
she's
she-
proud of you.
No, I don't think
she's
so.
not. She's lonely.
No,
She got
she
no
just wanted to
friends.
know that when I was
She's on
with
a
her,
farm.
she wanted to know if when I was with her, did I have sex with anybody else?
Oh my God.
And of course I didn't.
Oh, you.
I went to church.
Shut up, I'm talking.
Oh my God! In my conversation
Shut up, I'm
with
talking.
my mother,
Okay.
I have two of them because my mother's so crazy. We're in this red Italian restaurant, and she goes, "I'm very worried about you," you know. And I was like, "What do you?" Yeah.
What, darling? Go ahead.
She was like, "I'm very worried."
Was this
And I
before
like,
you ran to?
No,
New
I was
York?
in New York and I came back.
Oh, so you were the wild child
Yeah,
that ran to
so
New
I
York
came back.
with all of those.
Yeah.
Got
So
it,
she
got it.
was just like, I'm worried about you. You know, I know you're having sex with anybody who will open the door in New York. And I said, well, Ma, I know that you're having sex with anyone who will open the door in the neighborhood.
Did she slap you?
No.
Oh, my mother would
So
have.
she said, do you? No. My mother. No.
Oh, because your mother was always so
My mother-
medicated.
Oh, please. So she was just like, do you hate me for that? And I said, no.
That was a real moment.
No, that was no. This is not jokes.
Oh.
She said, do you hate me for that? And I said, no. Somehow, I mean, at 6, I was taking calls for the men she was banging, and I knew. And somehow she wasn't getting what she. I said, I just know you weren't getting what you needed in the house. So I was happy you were getting it from somewhere.
That's so mature for you to have thought.
So and that was at 6, and then.
This is so similar to mine. 'cause
Later,
my mother wanted to leave my father, and I was the only one of the 3 kids who said, "Yes, go." You know, if I don't want to see you unhappy. It doesn't matter. I want you to see you happy.
But
And
at
I
that
was
time,
just-
people stayed in it till
Oh,
they
they
dropped out.
dragged
Yeah.
the whole thing until it was your stayed together till the end, right?
Oh yeah, when
My-
he was in
my
jail
pa-
and everything.
yeah.
But she said, so she said, "You hate me," and I said, "No," and I said, and I said, she said, "I just had a hole in my heart that I could never fill with one man." So I said, "I wish that I could have been one of the things to fill your heart." And then she said, "You are my heart." And then later,
Oh, okay,
She
here we go.
forgot.
and then later,
It's like Bye Bye Birdie 2. Do I need to hear this?
So apparently, like, one of our people is a very big star. And so she goes, you know, blah, blah, had a little conversation with his mother. And I was like, what are you talking about? So she said, you know, the talk. And I was like, what are you talking, the gay talk? So she goes, well, he did sit her down and tell her. I said, Ma, 20 years ago we had this conversation. You want to have it again? So she goes, well, are you telling me you're gay? I was like, are you out of your mind?
Girl, the health department
I
told
was
everybody
like,
you're gay.
yeah, get another vodka.
But my mom and I had a terrible incident happen when I was like 24, and I'd gotten arrested. I don't think I've
Jason, we've never heard this because you know I do my research.
It's in my book if you would have read it. Good night,
I
everybody.
couldn't get it because it's in its third printing, and I missed the second.
Okay,
printing.
great. So I was arrested when I was 24. It was in West Hollywood where they were rounding up people during a time when they would do that. And my mom...
Our
Well,
young
having-
generation,
we-
wait. I have
yeah.
to just say, our young generation doesn't understand that this was West Hollywood at this time. Revolver, the bar that we all love
Oh my
because of
God.
Revolver, it was called Revolver because all the windows were blacked out. Rock Hudson would go there.
I
It
went
was
there.
because you couldn't be seen, and the alleyway was how you usually went in, but Revolver did a front, and it would be because it was blacked out, and you went in real fast.
They were always
West
trying to
Hollywood wasn't
find ways to what's the word?
Raid everything.
Yeah, raid.
Well, in the park.
Yeah,
I mean, as I
that's-
was driving
that's
here,
where I was. That's where I was.
people were having sex in the park or in the alley.
But there was no grinder. There was no scruff. There was no
No.
way to meet someone in public. You didn't want to do anything. And I was 24 years old. I got arrested with this older guy that was probably younger than me, and he was married. And neither one of us had done
shit.
anything.
Oh.
And my dad came to pick me up, and he was so angry. And my
What was the charge? Indecent...
lewd contact.
Lewd
Contact. Right?
Lewd.
Yeah.
conduct. Was,
Conduct,
Yeah.
not content.
Contact, not contact.
You're so media.
Okay, so certainly the incredible amount of shame for that. But I was so young, you know, I would never ever go out I wouldn't even go out into a bar in those days. I was completely different.
But it was dangerous.
Yes, and all I could think of is if I went into a gay bar, my career would be over. You know, I wouldn't be able to be an actor. I wouldn't be able to. People would know. I was living in some weird space that didn't even exist. And I remember when my mom got really angry at me. We were talking on the phone, and she was going to pay half of the lawyer. My father was going to pay half of the lawyer, and she got really mad. She says, "I'm not doing this. I don't care. You did this terrible thing." And I said, "I didn't do anything." And she hung up on me, and I called her back, and I said, "If you hung up on me again, I'm not going to call you back." And we didn't talk for literally. Around 9 months, and then I was visiting my dad in the factory doing the same thing I used to do all the time so I could get attention with him. I went down to the factory to have lunch with him, and I was, because I had just auditioned for a TV movie with Justine Bateman called Can You Feel Me Dancing, and I told him I think I got this part, and he took me to lunch, and my mom had called him about something. They were always still talking for years afterwards. And he got us back together, and it was a rough start. It took years to rebuild. And what the best thing that happened for me is that I no longer needed her approval. And for young 24-year-old kid who, if my mother would just breathe, she'd come home and she'd give me the silent treatment if something had happened. She was very, crazy. And then through the years, as she married different people and had different husbands and people that she lived with and stuff, and as the years went on and on and on, she had been living with a man who was a multiple personality, and she didn't know it. And I went down to Palm Springs, where she was in Cathedral City, where she was living, where she had her house, and I helped her. And I just kept showing up in life and showing up and showing up and showing up in life for people. And especially for my mom. And then things changed. And then when she started to get older, when she hit around 79, she started to falter a little with her health and being able to take care of herself. And she had a lot of friends pass away. And then I said, Ma, you got to come back to L.A. because I had just been in Birth of a Nation, and I was doing so much PR, and everything was different then. So much was expected of me, and I couldn't really leave L.A. And then I said, she lived there for 3 years, and she said, I think we should go back to Palm Springs. All your auditions are on tape. You can come back and forth, and then we moved to Palm Springs. And as the years have gone on, it's like I have family for the first time, because I never really had a lot of family growing up. I left at 18, and I never came back.
Wow. And that's tough. You went to New York at 19.
Right.
That is so tough. if you look at an 18 or 19-year-old today, they're on TikTok, whatever.
Oh my
they
God,
don't even
yeah.
know.
They're in their
what's-
parents' basement. My mom's cooking dinner. My father's doing my laundry. They're in the basement. They have good internet.
I got to tell you though, at 19, I was reborn because I was.
He
felt
was much
like
faster than me. It took me a long time.
I was just like, it was like a long pregnancy, and it was like took 19 years, and poof, here I was.
He had a lot more fun than I did.
Oh,
Not to-
100%.
Not to compare though, but his springboard with like
I was
Speed
like,
Freaks and it was like a
Oh, I
long-
got to
yeah.
get there faster, honey. And then Studio 54
for
was
your
my
own
first thing.
survival. So, but,
Yeah.
but it also comes down to what makes somebody like you not just succumb to that world, and that
Well,
you because,
come on. Tell him. How many years are you sober now?
26 years.
And I'm not saying anything he wouldn't say
Congratulations.
himself.
No, I don't give a
No,
shit.
so I'm not.
No, and we
He-
believe
so-
it or not,
But
we
that's-
celebrate sobriety on the show. That's huge. No, but it is huge.
No, it's huge.
But he
it's huge.
It's
he
huge.
tried. There were years of him, and I'm.
Well, I crashed 17 cars. I crashed and rolled 17 cars. Been in jail 6 times. I've had 9,000 hours of community service.
I didn't know that one.
All the flowers along Santa Monica Boulevard.
That's him.
I planted them.
That's him.
So it's like, yes, but my father, all my people
So you
are
literally
criminals.
hit rock.
Oh,
bottom.
rock. I can't get any lower.
So my assumption was that you're sober because of your parents' situation.
No.
But you did get into that. Can you please share that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you do what you learn. You learn what you see. You become what you see. Like, I desperately didn't want to become either one of them, and I became the best and worst parts of both of them.
But it almost feels like home
Yeah, but it was it was very familiar.
as I take another sip.
Exactly. But it's like, and I don't care. I hang around now with huge party people. I go to Mykonos. I dance on the bar. I just don't fall off anymore.
Because if he does, he'll break a hip.
Yeah, I'm too old.
Right.
And
But-
insurance will be like,
Yeah, oh, hell yes. But I just partied. I chased, like I was being chased by, like, I don't know what was, if they caught me, I would die. And I was just, because
He was dancing as fast as he could.
I believed all the bullshit I heard about myself. I believed I was a piece of shit because my father told me I was. All my peers echoed that. So, I started doing speed when I was sophomore year in high school because I started doing their pills. I do a whole thing in my show.
It's a brilliant
But-
piece where he takes folding chairs as cars, and you have to actually see it. It's absolutely brilliant.
So this is
it's
mutant-
absolutely hysterically.
Mutant knowledge.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's-
let's talk about
It's
it.
hysterically funny, but it's also incredibly frightening. And he does this
It's
whole
shocking.
thing when he's doing the
Apparently.
chairs, and there's people actually in the car with, please stop. I mean, there are people in the car with
I
him.
had my first accident was 6-car pileup.
Mutant Olives is your one-man show.
Correct.
Critically acclaimed.
Correct.
Traveling everywhere.
Amazing.
So
It's just amazing. It is a twisted love letter to my father and mother. It all takes place in an audition. So I come in from the back, like I'm coming into audition with pictures and whatever, and I make the audience, the casting directors and the director and the thing, and I have a 10-minute schmooze fest, like I'm auditioning and we're trying to seduce them to cast me, and. I come on talking to my father, and it's really my father torturing me. And before I could get to this monologue, and I rap because it's for Hamilton Unplugged, where I have to, cover 17 roles, and rap, and I'm up for the black best friend. So,
sold.
yeah. So it's hysterical. And then when I get into, it's just I don't know. I throw all my blood and guts and my history on stage. And my father called me, he said, why can't you be more like your brother? And I was like, my brother's a psychotic who's got a gun and he's a sociopath. And he said, yeah, but he's not a fag.
Didn't your brother go to jail too?
Oh, yeah. And 5 rehabs.
Yeah.
But this is dramatic. I dramatize. And I play him, and I play myself, and I play my mother, and I play my teachers who... I just saw we creatives, we whatever, I think alkies in general are just so sensitive. You're too sensitive to survive in the real world without medication, which was me. The world was too clear. It was just, the voices were too loud and they needed to be toned down.
And now life is clear.
And now life is really clear. And it gets clearer and clearer. I'm sober like 26 years. But it's like every year I become a completely, like every 6 months, I feel like I'm a completely different person and I'm clear with myself. I like myself more.
I used to have to call him Julian for a while
Yeah. Well,
Why?
because he's a completely different person.
he's trying to go for a joke.
Thank you both.
It just went over our heads.
Thank you
Let me
both.
write this
Yeah,
down.
write that
Thank you
down.
both for humiliating me
We were-
on air.
No, we were. He wasn't talking
WJ's
about
on
himself.
strike. I need to trademark this right now.
But it's great. I mean, there's just like episodes that people that watch it say that how brave I am. Like for you to talk about everything you talk about, people say oh my God, it's so brave, and oh my God, it's so, it's shocking. Well, for the audience, I guess, like I'll tell people it's shocking, but I'm saying it as not as me as a performer. I'm saying it as an audience member. Because to me, I don't think it's, I am recreating shit. So, for me,
Well, and love it or hate it, for our TikTok, our Instagram generation, they're sharing stories. They're sharing stories about mental health.
Absolutely.
They're sharing stories about who they are.
absolutely.
In 2 seconds.
I
right.
love it.
But it's having a conversation. It's like, okay,
12 seconds.
somebody from Ohio is connecting with somebody from California. And
Right.
They can be like, mental health, and this is it.
It's fab.
So,
It's
I mean,
fab.
I have my own feelings about TikTok, but
Well,
it's
I
uniting.
drive around in my car and I blog in my car about shit that's hitting me
You
in the
also,
moment.
cruise on Grinder, but we're not going to.
Well, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Did you find me on Grindr?
Yes, you're like. No, I was going to say something.
You must live very close to him.
Are you in West Hollywood?
Yes.
Oh, then there you go.
It's like mobile glory hole. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm really uncomfortable right now.
I'm actually not.
Jason, I do. 'Cause we're talking about milestones in our life, and we have to acknowledge 30th anniversary coming out on the Geraldo show. How did you book that show, by the way? And weren't you afraid of ruining your career?
So I remember I was in a movie called Kindergarten Cop. And
Which we all know.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carol Baker,
Yep.
Penelope Ann Miller, all these wonderful actors. And I remember that I was
And it was so high profile.
it was
Everybody was watching this
It's
movie.
made close to $100 million in 1990. And I remember being at the cast and crew screening, and I'd never been in anything that big. And Ivan Reitman, God bless him, walked by me and said, "You're still in the film." And I thought, I didn't know that I wasn't in the film, and I didn't know what that meant. Went to see the movie, and they'd cut all my part except for 2 lines. And I thought to myself, Jesus, God, this is so impossible. I played the hairdresser to the villainess. And how many hairdresser parts are there? How many times am I going to get anything that's funny that was that? I thought there's no way, there's no space for me, there's no place for me. And I wanted to be a headliner as a comedian, and I was wearing all these crazy outfits, and I didn't want to do that anymore, and I wanted to find my own voice. This was the only way that I did that. So I decided, I called a friend of mine, Marcy Smolin at the time. We wrote this press release. We sat in my 1-bedroom apartment. We faxed every single daytime talk show. And the 2 that call at the
That's
time,
the hustle. That's the hustle.
Yeah.
that
at the
you
time,
have to do.
it
He's
was
still doing it.
well.
But you have to.
Well,
like
we got
Smothered
them-
Smothered would not be where it is now without the hustle.
Well, I don't think of it as a hustle. I don't think of it that way. I think of it as the love. I
use
really
it as
don't.
a positive, though.
But I do. But I don't think
Yeah.
because I changed the words in my life, and I don't think of. I think everything is about where my love is, what I'm enjoying doing, spending with my time, how I feel about doing something. I don't think that I'm
But
hustling.
we are
I don't
relentless.
Think, yeah, but I don't think
In
of
a great way.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a positive
I
word
use
for
hustles
us.
because
We're relentless,
We
which
talked
I
about another show.
respect
People come to
you.
Hollywood and they're like,
Yeah.
"Come look at me. I'm gonna." No, you have to do the work.
And that's one of the things I
Yes.
totally respect about you. You will not stop. Not stop. There's nothing that will stop you from going forward. I love that about you. I've told you this before.
No, you never have.
Yes. Oh, yes, I have.
No,
well,
you haven't.
all right, then I'm telling you.
Not
for the
in.
first time.
No, he's never said that.
Not in person? Well, anyway.
No.
he
You don't
will-
make the out 100 by being
by
stopped.
100%. 100%. He will not stop.
Well, it's because
And neither will I.
Because
but-
honestly, the truth is, when Mitch and I started talking about doing this together, it's out of the love of the work, and we both desperately wanted to do something good. We wanted to desperately do something that we could enjoy ourselves, where we could grow as actors, where we could do something that was funny, that yet had a heart, and yet that was real.
And that shit we're not being offered.
No, and it's also the stuff that isn't even true in the sense, or the stuff that you are offered is just so subpar sometimes.
And that people were waiting. Everybody waits for someone to give them permission to do what they love to do.
Okay, but let's have a real talk. We're talking about, we have this boom of LGBTQ entertainers coming out, A-listers, B-listers, C-listers.
Okay.
I'm non-binary. I'm trans. I'm gay. I'm whatever. And I was like, we applaud that. That's not the generation that you guys are coming
Oh
from.
God, no.
And
We're
so-
boring compared to them. I feel so
now-
boring.
Oh, trust me, you are not boring.
Oh, I feel like I am. I'm in a polo shirt.
But what
Well,
I'm saying,
that we could talk about.
Yeah.
But you weren't finished talking about the Geraldo thing.
Right. So what happened is when that did happen,
Boom.
is that when I came out on the show, I really had no idea because no one had done it. There were people that were out already, like people like Kay Clinton and Karen Williams and Robin Tyler and oh God, so many. I hope Jeffy Cohen. There were other comedians and not any actors that I can even think of. And no one had done it, and a lot of people told me not to do it, and I did it. My whole career changed.
if I was your manager at that time, I'd be like, don't do it.
No, and it was 1993, and I was frightened, but I was so completely depressed and so completely saddened by, I had been working, I guess maybe 15 years since from the time I was 16 until I was 33 or 34, and I was able, and I still couldn't get past a certain point. I couldn't. I didn't have a voice. I wasn't who I was. I couldn't speak and talk about what I wanted to talk about. And I remember, after that I did a show at the Improv in Chicago. And I all of a sudden just talked about whatever I wanted to talk about. It was just I thought, oh my God, this is incredible. And then I started getting booked around the country. And then I did the first comedy special that they did 3 comedy specials with gay comics on Comedy Central. And then I started doing sitcoms. And then I had people wanting to do series with me, but that could never happen in those days. And I remember, and then I produced my own special. I made my own film, and I just continued to work and to work and to work and to work. And I got fired a number of times, from stand-up gigs or from a show where they decided they didn't want the character to be gay. No one ever asked me, can I play another part? Nobody did. I mean, I couldn't. And then probably around 78, 79, I made, I'm sorry, not 78, 2008, 2009, after I did my comedy, my own stand-up special, Making It to the Middle, I remember I decided that I wanted to start acting again really a lot and playing different
roles.
parts, playing different parts. So it took me years. And I went back to Ivana Chubbuck's acting class and I started working on different characters. And I finally gave myself permission to not have to be the funny gay guy, to not have to be in the box that they wanted me to be in.
And you can still be confident in your art and your skill.
Right, but I didn't. It's just I just listened to where people thought I should go, and then when I wanted more, and then I got The Closer, and that really changed everything because I played an annoying Jewish guy, which brought me to several other annoying Jewish guys, to Tangerine, to Love Is Strange, and then with Alfred Molina and Marissa Tomei and John Lithgow, and then the Birth of a Nation was the biggest thing that could have ever happened to me.
Huge.
And it happened because I was willing to go to fly to a different town. I got agents all over the country because I saw they were doing tax breaks for things, and I got an agent in New Orleans, and she didn't care that I was gay. I flew there to meet her, and she just did not care. Can you do the part? Okay, great. I think you could do it. And she wanted me to play a plantationer in 1831. I remember getting the audition going, there is no way anybody's going to buy me playing this part.
But how exciting that you got that.
Well, because I had worked on that part before. I had worked on a Southern guy for a Vietnam movie that a guy at the American Film Institute wanted me to do, and I worked on it for years on and off. And I'd worked on it in class, and I worked on behavior, and I worked on my accent, the way I moved. I worked on my voice. I changed how I talked so I could be, if I could do something. I did everything, all these things. And when I did it, I remember, I'll never forget it. After I got the call from my agent, and said to me on the phone, she says, how's your day going? And I said, it's fine. She says, well, it's about to get better. And I said, well, why? She says, you got the part. And I said, well, what part? She said, the plantation owner. I said, don't you lie to me. And I just broke down and I cried from nowhere. And I remember a friend of mine was on the phone call waiting, and I never went back to him. I totally forgot.
Was that you? I was like,
Yeah.
I have an idea for a web series.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing that got that experience, and I probably talk about it too much, but it changed my entire life. It wasn't just getting a big part in a movie. It was that I was asked to sit at a table with these incredible actors, and I was treated with such deep respect by Nate Parker. And I remember, I flew to Georgia 5 days before the shooting started, and I said to his assistant, which was Denzel Washington's daughter. I didn't know that at the time. And I said, if there's
They all look alike, by the way, so they're intimidating.
No, this one didn't look. She's a heavy-set lesbian. No, not heavy, but just big gal. And I didn't know it at the time. And I would call her and I'd say, if there's a table read, or I'd like to have a chance to talk to him. But see, I had the confidence to know that I wanted to talk to him about the part before I went to shooting, so I'd be prepared on the set. So and he finally, I rented a car again on my own dime. I went all the way I was staying in Jacksonville with a producer friend of mine, and I drove an hour and 45 minutes. And I remember sitting in his office in his house that he was renting. We went upstairs, and I remember sitting in a swivel chair like this. And I said to him, I just want to say thank you for, hiring me. And he says, no, thank you. And it just blew me away. It just blew me away because it was such a big deal. He fought for me. They didn't want me. They wanted some bigger star. And when I was on the set, I was treated, it was like being in a repertory company of actors. People just were so into doing the work. And it was about, Black abolitionist Nat Turner, and it was about exactly what I want to be doing as an actor. It's about something when someone goes into a room in a movie theater, you see a movie, and it changes the way you think. And it was from the Black point of view by a Black man. And I was around all these Black people for around a year after that, doing all this publicity. And I really learned so much about who I was and where I fit in, and how to see things from another perspective. And I was doing all these red carpets and all these parties and publicity and everything. And I remember one blonde lady said to me, she said, well, how do you feel about playing this terrible character? How do you feel about playing a plantation owner? And I said, this is a gift. That at this age that I get to be cast playing this kind of a part, being a Jewish, gay liberal guy, that I get to tell this story and take off my shoes, put the shoes on of my Black brothers and sisters, and just shut up and listen. I don't need to have an opinion. It's not my story.
I want to clip that. I mean, that's amazing. But Jason, the fact that you felt a little under, the duty because gay man, whatever.
Oh, God.
You're a consummate actor. You had every right to be there just like anybody else.
It wasn't that. It's just that I don't think that I didn't feel I had the right to be there. I felt like it was so far away. That I had to go to New Orleans, Louisiana, get an agent to represent me to get a good part in a movie. And then I got 30, 40 different parts since then. Nothing.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Relentless. You
don't want me to use the hustle, but
it's about
if you
love.
didn't, of course, but it's also about I'm going to go to any length to get what I want.
Well, I showed up in a hotel when I did the audition.
You flew yourself there.
Yeah, I flew myself there on my own dime. I was in a hotel with this.
I hope our entertainers are listening. It's like, this is what you have to do to make it happen.
have to do.
I was staying in a
our
hotel.
Instagram, I'm like, I'm going to be a star by taking shirtless selfies. No, you have to
I would do
stuff.
that if I could. I was. I remember staying in the hotel. There was a woman who was pregnant on the balcony.
Again with the cigarettes.
Again with the cigarettes.
Are you guys, is Smothered sponsored by Winston? And I didn't even know.
Oh my God, I wish it was.
I'm sorry, Virginia Slim.
Oh,
I'm
baby.
sorry.
And there was a man sitting by the pool that looked like he was going to, rape me in my sleep. So I actually.
That was a dream.
Was it Stevie Wonder?
Okay, those are two really mean guys.
Smothered season 3.
Yeah, baby.
SmotheredTV.com.
Anyway, can we talk about Smothered season 2?
Yes. So let's talk about. We got so many questions.
Everything.
Number one, how did you guys meet? Because I would imagine
I'll let him tell the
that
story.
you're probably put up for some of the same roles.
It's occasionally
You
we
would
have.
think we would, but
no,
we
we have.
hardly ever.
No, that's not true. We have.
How did you guys meet?
We met Taylor Negron, who was a comedian, God bless him,
Yeah.
passed away.
He was on the Rocks. What a wonderful show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Talk
He's
about
an
somebody
amazing
that
talent.
could talk about the drama of comedy
Yes.
and then be funny at the same time.
Yeah.
He was such a special.
So special.
Died
and I've
way
known
too
him
young.
for 100,000 years. He was a really interesting friend of mine. And
He invited me to go with him to this party.
and I was loaded out of my mind.
And he
The
still
party
thinks
is
that
mine.
we had to talk the other day. He thinks it's at another apartment. He would just even
It was
know.
at a different
No,
apartment.
it was not.
Yes.
It was not. It was in that other department before you had it redone.
Anyway, I had a
It was at
one-bedroom
Norma
apartment.
Desmond's house. Okay.
Right.
It
Yeah.
looked as there was dust everywhere.
No, it was black. Everything was painted black.
Those were just the guests.
in my drug addict years. It was black. Yes, and the guests. And I was flying around with a floor-length cape and a Jufro and black nails. And I was tonguing everyone, and Taylor
It
brought
me,
in.
and let me tell you what I said. I looked at Taylor, and when he came in, swarming in with his cigarette smoking,
Oh, yeah.
blowing it in my face.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, I am never going to be friends with this guy. Let's leave.
And I don't
Because
remember.
I would just say that's not who you gravitate to.
No, I'm a much.
No.
He's much more fun and
I'm way more
gregarious
fun.
than I
Yeah.
am. I'm much more.
and way more open.
Yeah, I'm.
When he said he was going to be sober, did you guffaw?
Nobody thought it was a bad idea.
I didn't think he'd. You know.
No, but nobody
Or
also.
surprised.
I
That's what
was
I'm talking
impressed with that, but Mitch and I we haven't been like friends on a date. We were in and out, and we
Right.
really didn't like each other. I don't think.
No.
And,
I want to hear more about this.
so it wasn't like we didn't
Sometimes
like.
this kind of creativity is like what brings.
But it isn't like
Smothered.
we went, oh, I didn't like him, and it's just we would go out to a movie or go out to a play, and he would hate everything, and then I would say, well, that guy was really good.
And I was like, but this movie still sucked.
Yeah,
he
but
would
that-
never say something like definitive. He would always find something bullshit to say nice
That's not
about
true
shit.
because you would go so
Well,
far against the other
I
wall.
was like, but this shit. But I don't think that they meant
Yeah, because
to do
I've been
something
in some real
shitty
crappy
when they
movies.
Started.
I've been in some
Right,
real
but
crappy
it was
movies.
still shit.
No, but some of them, that's not true.
Yes, it was.
That's not true.
And
he
mean,
was
to
on
be-
Murder, She Wrote, for
Yeah,
God's sake.
But I mean, to be honest, when you came out on, from Geraldo,
Geraldo?
your whole life was about I have to be out and I'm out.
Right, and
Everything
he-
you talked about was
Yes,
out,
I
out,
was-
out,
I
out,
was-
out. And it's like
It
not
overwhelmed. He was
It
not out then completely.
No, I was out as much as I'm going to be. The difference is that because of how I was brought up, it wasn't my focus, and it was his focus. So it's like so it's like, do you know what I mean? It's different
I
focuses.
But let's
know
see,
what you
let me defend that.
And no, you don't have to defend
I
it.
do,
It's just
I-
who you were.
No.
and I was
Wait a
way
minute,
more. I
well,
was still
I
on
will say-
drugs and
Let-
still drinking and flying around.
Right.
And it just wasn't. It didn't seem like a fun party to
But
me.
can I tell you something? There were a lot of people that felt that way about me at that time when I came out, and it was gay for me.
They were jealous
But-
that you
No,
were able
I don't
to
think
do
they were
that.
jealous. This is really what this is, and I've never said this publicly anywhere. And I think what it is, and I do. He's right. I
Yeah.
was gay, but it was also me in my 30s, my early 30s, and for gay men, we're so stunted in some way. So it was almost like I was a teenager coming out, and all of a sudden, just trying to figure out where I was going to sit in the room, and very few people came out at that time when I did. So I was alone.
and we're still talking about the AIDS epidemic, by the
Yes,
way.
Correct.
But it was still that I was really alone. I was completely alone in it. So I wanted him and everybody else to come along
Right.
and be with me and be out and so I didn't have to be alone. So I can see how that I was completely overwhelming to people.
Which
and
is
probably too much.
and it's not a judgment on it.
No, but I
totally
wanted to
see
say
both
that
of these
because
sides,
it's
though. I know
but-
exactly.
no, I
100%.
understand that.
But
With our new
you-
boom of LGBTQ people coming out, some people I'm like, oh my God, calm down. Like,
Yeah.
Demi Lovato. I'm like, bitch,
I know.
calm down.
Write a song about it and shut up.
Did she?
Oh yeah, hundreds.
Oh.
But
California
I mean, we
sober.
we keep changing, and we keep evolving. You evolve, I'm evolving. I mean, really, that's what we were talking about. I mean,
Season 1 from Season 2 is totally different.
100%.
Season 2 is episodic.
yes.
Very episodic in nature.
Very
Which
episodic.
is Season 1, like, I liked it because it was like,
It's
really
fast.
fun.
therapy and it's fun and it's whatever.
It's bite sized.
But I did see the evolution that it got a little bit more serious.
Oh yeah.
And then we got to, it wasn't just the joke anymore.
No, wait till you
Well,
see 8.
there's a bottom to it.
There's a lot of bottoms.
Yeah,
but
a
there's-
lot of bottoms.
yeah, but
but there
there's-
was also a heart.
But it's also, and Mitch's character becomes much more of a mentor to with a gender fluid guy.
Well, Randy just evolved.
He evolves his character, and Ralph gets a little
Screaming
bit
and dragging,
a
but-
little bit of a love interest that
And
drives
he
him.
gets a little bit of balls.
So I really want to know, big personality.
Yeah.
Now we know, like, the first meeting wasn't like kismet.
Well, this came about. You'll be very happy to know it was all about a fight.
So I want to know how
This
did
happened.
this show and
Huge
how you guys
fight.
are able to work together, because I've tried to have co-host on the show. It's like, it's too much, too big. I love this so much for myself.
Yeah.
How did you guys start working on
Let's
this?
really be honest. It's not
I
been
wanted
easy.
you to be honest.
It's not been easy
So
at
let's
all.
talk about that, because we have a lot of entertainment people that listen to the show. They need to know this is what makes it.
Well, it started. I mean, I had a mentor, and directors have told me if you have conflict, and you have love, and you have comedy, you have a series.
But I want to ask first of all.
We have all of that.
Yes.
But what made you guys think? Oh, let's do a show together.
Well, we always
For the years,
every time we
years.
would talk, it would be funny. We would fight.
Because
We would
have
argue.
sick chemistry.
Exactly, and we didn't. I don't think we really knew how much chemistry we
No,
really had.
not at all.
I don't think so.
No.
And we had this idea. Both of us had this idea of having this couple that were in therapy. Then in a
And I
couple
wanted
who
Dog
robbed.
Day Afternoon
We wanted to
because I
rob a
thought-
bank, and I had a friend.
Yes.
It was a lot of very
and if
much.
we actually robbed a bank to get away from each
Exactly,
other.
and we were thinking that
And
the
how
characters were
sloppy
sort of
they'd be.
and they were sort of dense, and my character
And
was
we would
sort
talk
of
about through the years.
exactly the long time,
And it would never
and
happen because I didn't want to
He was in
spend that
my
much
he was
time with
he
him.
was in my series Mentor,
Correct.
and he played this crazy European guy, and the guy that I did it with.
Another show I wasn't cast in. But okay,
Right,
okay,
right.
yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
fine.
well, because we didn't know you. But he played this crazy character, and I said to the guy I was doing with, he actually didn't want Mitch, and I said,
True.
and he said, let him have this accent. I said, no, let him do whatever he wants. He's funny, and he came in and did a great job, and it was a big highlight. And all of a sudden, we had this thing where I'm protecting the kid in the TV show that we did, my other show, Mentor, and there was this thing that happened between us that we were fighting back and forth with each other, and it was so funny. What did I say in that?
It was just it
And
was
then
like
it
the
was
highlight
so-
of the episode.
it was
and
so
in
funny.
that bar when I keep drinking and you're telling me,
That's
please stop.
And that's in my movie 10 Attitudes. He was in that. And then what was funny, because in Mentor, I remember saying it, and that chair, it's ugly here. And all of a sudden, these weird kind of cool
and
things.
I was
would
doing
hap-
something crazy.
Yeah, as he played the part of the
In
like
the,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
a masseuse, the genius.
It was crazy. And then we would have these things, and we knew that it would work. And then
And it was bubbling and bubbling and
and then I
bubbling, and
wanted-
then he invited me to
I wanted
another.
to do a series about
Oh, God,
people
this
that were
is-
over 50, and I invited
With
all these
horrible
people.
people.
They weren't all horrible,
Hideous.
And Mitch didn't get along with a couple
Any
of
of
the boys.
them.
You know, people just sort
Any
of
of them, they were horrible.
They
But
just sort of
here's the
hated
idea
him.
Of, like, if we have a show about people a certain age,
Yeah.
then these are the people that we have to cast. It's like, no.
No, hell no. And they were upset that because they thought 50s was horrible, like sex was horrible and their body was horrible.
they
and
didn't
I-
say
and I
that.
was
Wait,
like,
wait,
why
wait.
can't
He's
Everybody
completely
calm down.
changing it to make himself
why
look better.
can't
Here's the
I
reality.
be happy about it?
Here's the reality about age. You know, we all love Golden Girls. We all love Golden Girls.
Yeah.
When we look at their ages, they're 46,
Oh.
50, 51. 52 is the oldest, or Sophia. She's supposed to be like 82.
But she was younger than Dee.
But look at right.
She was the
look at
youngest
us
on the
all
show.
and
Yeah.
What the new age is.
Of
it's
course.
so insane.
So we had a huge fight.
I see. I didn't see it as a huge fight. I
Yes,
just
you
think.
did.
No, I didn't. I
You
think
called me 97 times.
I did
to
not. I called you
apologize.
twice.
Okay. Let's bring this in because what we love to show is okay. Can you tell me some of the biggest obstacles and how you work through them because you guys have a hit show?
Well, we worked
I
through it
would want
fast.
our audience to see that.
It took forever.
No, but like, what do you think was
No, when I
one
called
of the
you
biggest
back.
Obstacles?
I think it's when it is the thing about us, and I think the most about how we got through a lot of our arguments and a lot of our thing.
What were
is
you guys fighting about? Was it
a whole-
storyline?
No,
Was it-
no.
So
I
what
think
was
it's about fear. It's about fear, and it's about ego, and it's about trust, and
It
having.
was about trust.
Yes,
I
probably
agree with trust.
trust.
Let's-
Probably the
Let's
most.
deep into that. What does that mean? For somebody that wants to make a web series with somebody and they're
It's
looking
no.
at
First
this.
of all, it's not a web series. It's a short form series.
I'm talking about somebody that's like on the basic level.
They're
that hasn't
not-
worked
that's the
with
new
actors,
thing. I just
that
want you to
hasn't.
seem current and not like an old man. So it's.
Uh-huh. See?
Just look at my skin, you'll find out. No, but honestly, we have a lot of entertainment people that are literally just trying to do the.
Just, number one, don't just write something, tape it, and then that's it. Write it, rewrite it, make it good. We would start and we'd have an idea. He'd write it out. We'd talk it together. He'd send it back to me. I'd write my ideas. I'd send him. He'd overwrite. I'd cut things. We'd go back and forth, back and forth. He'd call me and text me until I was blue in the face. I don't think this works. I don't think this works. Ah, fuck. Why-
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
so-
I'm relentless too.
Yeah.
I will go
But
till
what
I get
was-
what I want.
And then
Probably
4
the
hours
biggest
about 4
thing.
hours about 3 words, and he would just make me crazy. And we would, and then we.
But they were always better.
not always.
Like Bob Fosse.
Yeah.
Now you guys are eating each other's asses, but
Yes.
Oh God,
What was
that's
some of the-
just.
what
Oh
were
my
some of
God.
the biggest? I want to know what some of the biggest fights were and how you got through that
In the show?
in the creative process.
In the creative
that,
process?
show.
Girl, the show's only so long.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even.
Well, the
can
truth of
I
the
can I
matter-
ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't even know when you called me that C word in that little room.
Yeah.
On the set.
I did
This
call
is
him
a story I want to hear.
I
I
called
did-
him a cunt.
Can you say this is over $100 now? Did you have to say that?
We're good for it. But I want to know.
No,
the
let me
story.
ask you a question.
This is
Wait,
part of the creative process.
Hold on, because
Yeah.
I need to know this. What all I said to you was we were talking. We have a thing.
No, you were being a
No,
bitch.
we have a thing about
You were being
no,
horrible.
No, what I
Let
You
our
were being
audience
horrible.
in. We need to know the
Yeah,
story.
tell the story.
So
Set it up.
we were sitting there in this
in a little room
we were in this
for
little-
3 hours.
What little room?
So there.
Oh, it's the jail.
it's
the opening
Oh,
scene.
so you guys are on set.
No, we're and we're in a little
what I
room
wanna
that's
know.
supposed
Yeah,
to be.
oh, yeah,
We're
yeah.
in a little room that's supposed to be the social worker's office.
Correct.
So we're on, for our audience, it's
Yes,
on set.
and the
First
the-
episode of second season.
Yeah, I don't remember what day it was.
With the shrink.
We
and
had
we're
the shrink
sitting
there.
And you guys filmed on a really tight.
And, yeah, well,
shooting.
it's Sony.
So you have like the pressure of like budget. You
No,
also
but
have
we
the
shot
pressure
it
of,
like a movie. You know, we shot all the scenes that were in each thing there like that. So we're in this room and we're going out, we're rehearsing the lines, and he somehow got really bitchy about something about
I got
because
bitchy.
let me finish and you can tell
I
your part.
am.
So we were talking about the ages because we pretend the ages. We always how many years are we together? 16, 24.
It's a standing shtick.
It's a shtick. So we're doing that, and then he says, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to say that."
No, that's not what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
is
I said,
not-
"Are you going to say
All right,
that?"
you do your
He
rendition.
wouldn't do. I said, "Why don't you say 21 or whatever it is?" I always want to make it longer. He always wants to make it shorter.
Well, that's our dynamic.
And that's
He's
the
not a
dynamic.
size queen.
So I thought,
Yeah,
why
exact- thank
why
you.
is he making such a big deal out of this?
We were sitting there, and we
I
like
wanna
to
hear this
rehearse.
episode. I feel like I'm on a Real Housewives
I
episode.
like to
God
rehearse.
forbid.
And I will keep going.
I
Oh,
love
that'll
Housewives.
never happen.
Good. We're never going on
No,
that show.
don't. It won't be.
Smothered
That would be a
has
night.
some elements.
That would be a night.
I'm
This is
sorry.
for.
It would be a
3:30.
double suicide between
You
the
guys,
two of us.
we have to finish this.
Okay.
All right. So.
I want to finish the story.
P.S. We're sitting there. It's been 3 hours. It's really hot in that room. We've got a
And Carol's scarf.
And Carol's got a damn dog.
And her
I was
scarf.
gonna say her fucking dog.
And
I
her,
see a
and her
paw in
scarf.
every, like-
There was some issue with her scarf
No, it's her
and her
wig
wig.
and her scarf.
It was just, it drove us all crazy.
And
It's like,
we're
bitch, you're not Mary Tyler Moore.
100%. And she's carrying that
Laverne and Shirley.
horrible dog. And
And it's
we're
barking
sitting there.
and crying.
So I'm keeping a sense of humor.
Do you
and
see what you guys just did though? It went from like we had a fight. Now this is
That's
such
us
a
all the
loving memory.
time.
This
That's
is
all the
Smothered.
time.
So
That's what-
you think it came from that?
And if you realize, and you always say this, when we're in a shrink's
This
office
is an episode of Smothered.
on
I'm sorry, it really is.
episode, we at a certain point will come together against the shrink.
Yes.
And this is what we do. This is our
Always.
dynamic always.
Uh-huh.
We will find a way back.
Right.
No matter how long it takes, it could take a day, but we'll find our way back to a common ground where we will both agree, and you'll know I'm right.
Well, that went that.
I still have no idea why you called
All
me
right, so
that.
I'll tell
So
you right
glad
now.
we learned from this.
Wait,
No,
hold
We're
on.
gonna move on. We're actually.
No, wait,
gonna
I
move
want to
on.
hear this.
It's okay, move on.
Do it
I
on
wanna
your
hear
own
the
time.
end.
Did
He's
you
running the show.
did you both have any idea that this would become such a hit?
Mitch is going to say yes,
I will say
and I'm going to
yes.
say no.
Because we can say we have great actors, we have great writers,
But
whatever.
you never know. You
It's
never know.
about two
Okay.
old
You
guys
never
that
know.
are not great in a relationship. It became a hit.
I thought that
What do
the
you think-
gays and the Jews would love it, and I didn't know. I
I
wasn't
would say
sure.
the gays absolutely not.
Yeah,
Really?
100%.
100%.
Oh,
we
I
are on the
thought
same
I
page.
already know from my own fans. I know because I know what my own fans love, and I knew that I could get them on my side for this because the work was good, and I think a lot of guys are really starving for relationships with people who are over. a
And let me
certain
tell
age.
you, let me
100%
tell you,
true.
that's true, but it's not my experience.
No.
My experience that straight women love the shit out of this series. They will sit there and watch
That's
it from
so
beginning
on point, by the way.
to end. Our PR person watched
Mosaic
it
PR.
Mosaic, honey,
Best PR
Jen.
in the world.
She watched it like immediately called right up. And she was like, oh, and when she watched Second Season, she goes, I loved it. She goes, what happened in the last one? I have a problem with that because we break up.
Oh, don't tell them.
Oh,
No.
You ruined the whole ending.
it's not.
Can you?
My acting is so good, they'll cry and scream and come.
But here's the thing: is like straight women want the kind of communication that you have.
100%,
Straight women
100%.
have this fight,
But I got to tell
but they
you,
don't have the other person.
Alexander, I knew the gay men in my pack.
Oh, and
would say-
Alexander,
Absolutely not.
I think,
gay
yeah.
men
That's not
don't
my
wanna
experience. But that's not my
I'm
experience.
with you, Al. Okay, and P.S.
Did you call me Al?
Alex.
Alexander.
And it has to be the Alexander
It's on the
thing.
mark.
He always he calls me
I have
Jay.
to. I have to
He's gonna
abbreviate
make up a
everything.
name
You guys
for
were
all.
joking, but let's get back to focus.
Anyway, okay. So P.S. I knew because I think, and I will give myself way more credit than he does. I think the writing is so fucking clever that's what they're going to.
We're up to $200.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, it's
the
great,
writing is
but
so
there's
damn
a lot
clever.
Of content out there.
Yes, but I know that. I mean, I think I'm funnier than that, than the other content.
The work is good.
It's
But
different.
CW is here. Netflix has the shittiest movies that are here.
And here
There's
we
so
are.
much content. Somehow,
Yeah.
and this is, I'm not putting your show
I'm not
down.
even- I'm not as-
Somehow this
yeah.
little show has become this viral hit.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's about
I'm
two-
thrilled.
Old guys,
Two marinated
fighting,
motherfuckers.
but we love it.
Yeah.
$300.
Oh, it's probably up to 5.
So
yeah.
let's take a moment. What do you think that you guys have taught each other as actors?
We've asked each other this. Did we ever come up with anything?
You go first.
No, you go first.
Mitch will show up no matter what.
Is that
He
shade?
doesn't.
Yeah.
He
To
will
me,
show
that's
up.
like a Real Housewives.
He will
Yeah.
show up no matter what, and he, even though I'll say something to him and he'll get mad at me, he'll marinate it, and then he'll come back the next day and he'll go, "Okay, you were right about that." And
It's taking time.
yes, he just needs a moment sometimes. And as things have gone on more and more, and I can't even look at him when I say that, he has become more and more and more and more wonderful.
You guys are a family. Let's just be honest.
No,
All that
no, I don't
bickering,
need
you guys
another
are a
family. It's not the right word to use for me.
So that's what you learned
Friends-
from him.
friends
is
of choice are
is
better.
to take a moment and to.
Well, I just know it's going to take him a day. You know, if it isn't his idea.
Shade.
Yeah, it's still shady.
What do you think you've taught him?
I'll let him say.
No, he's
this
asking
is-
you.
I'm gonna
Oh.
ask him the same thing.
Well, let me tell more what I thought what he's taught me. He also if he doesn't know how to do something, he says we're going to figure it out. We're going to do it. And that's it. And no matter how nervous because I get more nervous and I think, how are we going to do this? And we got so much to do. I'm so overwhelmed. And you know, then I'll make my lists and I make my lists, you know, and he just does it and it falls right off his back and I worry a little more, I think, than you do. And he's taught me to let go, you know, to just let it will work out. It will work out. We lost actors, we lost a director, we lost the da-da-da-da-da-da, and a couple people
You
acted.
had like 5 Rodriguez's.
Yeah,
yeah.
and who cares?
And we went through I don't know how many shrieks for one part, and some of them were
And
famous.
he would lose his mind all the time, and I would go, "It's fine. It's the right timing."
It's the
If
universe
it
will
took
bring us
this
the universe
100%
will bring us the right person.
Done.
And they
And it
did.
did.
And it did. So
And every time.
Yeah, so that's good.
Every time.
And what did he learn from me? Oh my God. I'm hoping to pause before you speak, to be in the moment with me, to look into my eyes and to be with me, you know, and to know that I'm not the same person he is. And sometimes I need a little squeeze or I need a little something, and he gives me a little something now once in a while. And he says things, and I go, oh, I'm so surprised. And I still am, even on this show. This has been a couple really lovely moments. I can't even look at him.
You're welcome. This is
I
what
get
Mosaic
emotional.
like incubates. Mitch,
Yo,
what do you think you've taught him?
what do I think I've taught him?
Yeah. What have you learned from him?
Can I have a cocktail, please?
Yeah. I think I've taught.
Your mom called me. She said no.
Yeah.
Said we have bingo at Chill Bar in the morning.
I think words are very important. I think they're everything. So I think what you mean is very important, the way you say it. Because it could be taken, it could be self-effacing, it could be negative and you not realizing by the words. So I'm always, and he hates, originally, when I would stop him and I would go, stop saying, I hope. Just say, it is.
Sorry, I'm on that.
Well, it's
And-
hard because it's Latin and it's also Jewish. It's our.
But
you know,
it's a
and he's
just a
and he's
self-effacing,
he's a
negative
Yeah, he's
quality
right. And Mitch is very right.
in the moment.
But the intention is more positive.
right.
Yes.
But
Maybe
it's
it
just-
won't happen.
But you're going to live
we
in the
believe
moment.
But
it.
he's
the
right.
hope,
But he's
Yeah.
right.
You're
We
gonna
have to change the way we speak. We
Yes.
do. We have to.
Because
He's very-
otherwise you get the experience of hoping and not of having,
Exactly.
which is what I believe. So I think I've taught him a spiritual feeling and a trust and also let it go.
Yeah.
Like, so what?
He's really taught me to let go of stuff.
So what?
Which is dangerous. Sometimes you do need to like keep
You just
on the
have
course.
to trust, though.
No,
There
but
is a trust
he doesn't leave
factor.
the course.
Oh, I never leave the course.
He doesn't leave the course.
But the course is going to, it'll show up. This one, this doesn't mean, because there was the point where you were like, oh my God, it's over because we don't have so-and-so or something like that.
Right,
It was a huge thing. And I was like,
Wait.
chill,
That was a
chill.
big thing for you, too. You were
Oh,
quite
you mean the
upset.
Any
director?
production.
I was like,
you were
fuck
quite
her.
upset.
Any
Yeah.
production.
done with that
So
shit.
ask the other question.
Oh, yeah. So,
Wait,
what did I learn from you? Okay. One.
Latkes.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. So a bad Jewish accent.
That was towards me.
No, it was him.
No, it's him.
It's towards me.
I don't do a bad Jewish accent.
You know, the same. P.S. I throw people away fast. No, I mean
That just hit me hard.
you cross me like twice,
That just hit me hard.
and I'm done. I don't give because you show who you are, and I trust when you show me who you are.
We're
That
too busy.
is who you are. It's what you do. It's not what you say. It's your actions.
So you learned that from him?
And so, no. So he has taught me to give another chance. He has taught me not to throw away so fast because he was not willing to throw away this friendship.
Oh.
You're taking a little responsibility right now.
Correct.
Wow.
So
This is on tape, isn't it?
I was ready. No, because I was ready to throw it away. I told you.
Reverie's
I was
like,
ready to done.
They're
I
in
was-
like a van with like, oh, what's the latest?
No, because he actually said, I'm not willing to. This is the fight I was talking about.
Were you going to
He-
give up this friendship?
I was.
No, I think that some people are everything bagels in your life. And some people are just an egg bagel or an onion bagel or a salt bagel, and some people.
I've been through this myself.
Yeah, so some people are just for certain things, and I thought, okay, he's going to be.
I don't need salted bagels.
Yeah, but
I don't need bagels.
But
I
sometimes
don't want
it's
the-
okay to have
I need
somebody.
bagels.
It's okay. That's the guy that you go to the gym with. That's the guy that you go to a movie with. It's okay that somebody does. Everybody does.
No, if they have a purpose.
Right, but everybody doesn't have to be an everything bagel, and everybody's not going to.
No, yeah, for
It's
sure.
like the most adult conversation I've ever had in my entire life.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, well.
But if they're negative, I have no place for them.
Not even worse than
I
negative.
won't keep them.
If they're trying to hurt us or trying to, if there's somebody that just.
Because there's so many people that
But
are
you know-
passive aggressive.
But you know what's really great in life is that if there's somebody that isn't great in your life, what I found is you can just stop calling them and they usually just disappear.
because they're nothing to you.
Well, I don't think they're nothing, but
All right, okay, we're going to wrap this up. So we do a segment. I usually intersperse it during the whole show, but couldn't get an edge. Word.
But we
It's
were
called
pretty
Spill
good
the
for
Tea.
us.
Yeah, we were really good. We're in
For
good
us.
behavior for us.
Glad you can use this to sell season 3.
Oh yeah, boom.
No, but this, all jokes aside,
Yeah.
we got to talk to you.
I love that.
Well,
We
who
didn't
else were
get
you
to-
going to be? Who else were you
No,
going to talk
because
to?
when people interview Jason Stewart, when people interview Mitch Hara, it's like, I got this joke, and we're gonna answer
Not
these questions.
always. Not for
we
me.
got to talk about you for you.
Love that.
That's what I'm interested in.
Oh,
yeah, I
cool.
love it.
Okay.
Well, I thought
So
we were going
we
to have
have
to be
to-
drunk lying on the floor. I thought this is the drinking show. That's what I thought, so I didn't know.
I watched one with Jackie Beat.
Honey, you'll-
No one was drunk,
Oh, okay.
but she never took off her damn sunglasses. Didn't that bother you?
Well, I will tell you. Okay, well, now you brought it up.
It
Our
is.
clip with Jackie Beat has gone viral on TikTok.
Excellent.
I support Drag Race and Jackie Beat.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Jackie
Oh,
Beat.
yeah, I love her.
I think Jackie Beat is probably one of the
I
most
met her.
talented drag
She's an
performers.
icon.
Oh, my
honestly,
God, she's
I
a
And
do.
so in that clip,
And who has not gotten her full due.
Correct.
I really
everybody
believe
says
that.
I have no ill will towards.
Oh,
Drag
no.
Race. Okay, so we're gonna do this.
Okay.
We're just gonna run through this.
Jason, put
Oh,
your
I'm
phone
sorry.
down.
Spill the tea. Worst
Are you
celebrity.
insane?
Hello, you have to do this real fast.
Okay.
Tony has to
Okay,
go
okay.
to his husband.
He's judging me now.
Real fast. Worst celebrity meeting. Mitch.
Celebrity meeting?
Real fast.
Um,
Like a celebrity, like, oh, I get to film, and you're like,
oh, George Clooney.
why? Because his hair. Why?
Oh,
Why?
because the first time I met him, he was in the middle of all the execs, and he was charming, and he was blah, blah, blah. And then the next day that we're sitting there, he's got the beard, nobody's around, and he was not charming.
Awesome. Worst celebrity meeting.
Oh God, I can't say. I can't say.
Well,
There's-
I
that's
should
the
have said
show.
that.
I can't.
No, I'm glad you did.
It's bad, so I can't say it.
Oh, do it.
No, I won't.
You don't have to name a name. Can you name industry and what happened?
Oh God, it was on a show Less Than Perfect.
You kind of narrowed it down.
That's not
Okay,
perfect.
and what happened?
I'm not. Well, they. Well, I'm not going to say.
All right.
Okay, worst audition.
Oh God,
Oh my God.
there's so many, aren't there?
Nip tuck.
Oh, that's
With Ryan
Murphy
was in
and
the
he
room.
was young. Ryan Murphy was like, I want to do this and all that, which I respect, but that was new energy.
And I had sex
Ow.
with somebody on that show, and I
Surprise,
was
surprise.
before. But so when I
Surprise.
was in the room, I knew the writers and whatever, and it was just the worst audition.
Why?
Ever. The pre-audition was great, and it was great, and everybody was crying, and I was like supposed to be this cat man who had like 1,000 different procedures done, but he wanted one more.
I believe it.
It was like, because the guy that got it looked like
I know.
like horrifying, and it was so good, and I knew the writers, and then Ryan Murphy, and then the other one, and they were all in there, and there was 14 people, and I started, and I had no life, and I had no joy, and I was so frustrated. There was a moment where the character just started to cry, and I started bawling. I mean, I just cried for my whole life that I was mourning.
That's a bad audition?
I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was just hideous. And he was like, so Ryan was like, that was very good. And I thought that was like, you should go kill yourself, is what I heard. But I think it was horrible. No, really. I would know. No? Oh. But for me, it was
We're going to go
horrible.
see the Mutated Olive.
Mutant Olive.
My worst audition was 30-something. So I actually got to go audition
that's
for
such a
a
flash from the
big television. And it's very hard. It's very hard to get a series regular audition. And then I saw that the
And 30-something was huge.
Oh, huge. And it was a little, it's at 30-something. It was in little teeny letters. And I thought I did the whole thing as if I were on a sitcom. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea that it was a drama
makes me
show
laugh.
that was real. I just thought it was a sitcom. And oh, God.
No.
Oh, my God.
Do you
And
remember any?
no one told me. My life went before my eyes. Just completely.
Oh my
You
God!
were
You
like
just
one of those.
reminded me. I did the worst. What was that show with whatever? They were all in there. I forgot the show.
Okay, we have to wrap
But,
up. But
yeah.
we have all these. Best celebrity meeting.
Oh, God. Oh, Carol Baker from Baby Doll and Harlow. She's an actress. I remember, I'll never forget this. So it was Kindergarten Cop, and I played the hairdresser to the
That
villainess.
film has.
It meant a lot to me. And I got to work
That
with
kid
this.
actor, the little cute kid, he's coming on the show because he was on Pet Cemetery. He's doing a whole new.
Oh,
thing.
really?
Yeah, he's coming on the show.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So she was, she didn't, I had to do her hair, and we had, there was 16 cameras. There was this thing where the guy runs in with a gun and he shoots him, and there's a whole thing happening. It's a very big 6-camera thing, and she wouldn't let me touch her hair. And I didn't know what to do. And then I heard, she says, oh, God, I've lost my reading glasses. So we were shooting in a mall that was a real big hair salon in a mall. And I found this eye doctor place, and I got her these readers. And I brought her. I said, come with me. And I don't know what I was thinking, that I would just be, talk to someone, an Oscar-nominated actress like that. And she came with me. I got her glasses. We were fast friends. We talked for years on the phone. And she was just lovely. She told me all these great stories, and I was in her trailer. And it was, I was at Schwarzenegger, but I was more interested in Carol Baker, who was nominated for Baby Doll, and for Harlow, and, and The Giant, and all these really great things. And she was like old Hollywood royalty, and I just adored her.
Remember when Glynis Johns did Superstar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's Glynis Johns.
From Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Best
I forgot the
celebrity meeting.
question.
Best celebrity meeting, and your name drip Laza?
Oh yeah, no. This
Real
was
fast. Tony has to go home to
Ilana Glazer from Broad City. It was like she directed I Run Hot with her brother wrote it, and
It was a pilot. he
Colin
did.
Colton Hayes. Yeah, I know, and he's like
Adorable.
adorable, and she was.
He
just-
almost did Smothered, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We couldn't get it. We couldn't get a date set up. He almost did it.
But because of the audition, they fell in love with me.
All right, we have to wrap up, but real fast. Hobby or talent that we have no clue that you have?
Say it what?
Hobby or talent that we have no clue that you have, or that you do.
Do him first.
Okay, maybe I'll set it.
I
Like
gotta think about it.
I
for a
do
sec.
cross stitch, which is so.
Oh,
dumb.
there you go.
It's so gay, and I'm like, I'm not even gay, but like I love doing. I just like cross stitch.
A hobby that nobody else has.
But it could be anything. Like, oh, I play clarinet. I.
Being able to get a doctor on the phone.
But Jason, like, what's something that like a hobby that you do?
Oh, I paint.
That's what you just. Oh, I just realized I paint.
No, I forgot. I mean, well, when I was in a
You
wheelchair.
forgot you paint?
Yeah, I was when I was in a wheelchair for like 3 months because of one of my
Now
crashes.
you're bringing this up. We've had this whole.
Yeah, so I used to draw.
2.0.
Yeah, no. I
you
I broke every bone in my body and I was in a wheelchair. And
We didn't hear this.
in my first car crash, I was thrown out of the car and I really broke every bone in my body. I was in Cedars for 3 weeks. They said I would never walk again. There was never walk again. I was in rehab. I was whatever. And so while I was in the wheelchair, I had to go back to Chicago, and I started painting. And I was using watercolors and whatever, and they're amazing, and they're everywhere in Chicago.
And then there's pictures of him all over his house that he's painted.
Correct. Well, everyone says they're
Does he bring
self-portraits.
this in the writer room of like Smothered? Like, well, I was in a car crash.
I think what
was a
people.
joke.
I think what people.
Oh.
Okay.
I think what people
We
don't
missed
know
it.
about me, the thing that I can really do is.
That's beautiful.
is
So
I-
where?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Where can we
I thought
see
we were
this
in a
art?
rush, so.
I'll post some stuff.
I mentor 2 straight boys that I think of as nephews, and I love them both. And it's really interesting because I don't think people would think that about me. And you know me because we met through the LifeWorks mentoring workshop.
Yes.
And that's how I started. And most of the people that I mentor were gay kids, LGBTQ kids. But these 2
Homeless.
kids are homeless or people that were having trouble with their families or trying to be able to find, what they needed to do in life. But these both kids are in their early 30s now, and I've been mentoring both of them for, a long time. So that's something that surprised me that came up because, being a gay guy, straight guys, sometimes you have a thing about them, they're hard to deal with. And being in the comedy world, it's like being in stand-up world, it's like being in high school forever, with money.
But he's really good as guiding as a teacher.
I've always been.
I'm not. He's really good at that.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I already cast you at Harry Potter's whatever. To be honest,
Harry Potter.
no, like if we were doing the Hogwarts school.
And who would I be?
he is. You're Dumbledore. He's Emma Thompson with the big glasses. Like
Why do I have to be the ugly guy?
the
Well,
most famous
come
one,
on.
the most loved.
Yeah.
Anyway, honestly, this has been such.
He gets to be the great Emma Thompson.
I always am.
and
She
I'm-
was only in one movie.
Okay,
She's
who-
not that
oh,
great.
Dumbledore
And
has
she
a-
was kind of.
Yeah.
Dumbledore has a bigger part. Who played him?
You.
I never
Have
seen
you
him.
not? Oh.
No, I've never seen any. I don't like fantasy movies. I don't. And sword and
Um,
sword. And I don't like.
8 movies and
I don't like.
$1 billion.
I don't like
Yeah.
a lot of wigs.
You could have been like the sassy.
Oh yeah, they're gonna definitely cast me
As the hairdresser.
Well, since you didn't read it, I don't know. Oh my God, you got Harry Potter did not have a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Anyway, honestly, all jokes aside, we literally talked about some real shit that affects our community that inspires your comedy. I'm
Yeah.
really proud of you guys for Smothered.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And if anybody wants to watch it, where do they go?
SmotheredTV.com.
Mitch, where can people find and follow you?
Mitch Hara. MITCHHARA on
.com.
Instagram. Oh, yeah, or MitchHara.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Shitter, anything with a T. And everywhere.
Same thing. Go to my website,
Grindr.
JasonStewart.com, STUART. And all my social media is on there.
What a great, fun conversation. We were real.
You're so great.
Oh, say it again.
You are so great.
Very special thank
I
you.
got to say, just first,
He's great.
10 years, our anniversary.
I haven't aged a day, have I?
You've really grown as a host. You really
why?
have.
That's a little shade.
I didn't say that.
Well, I saw
Just
it. It
the
was like-
tiniest. I know. It was a
I saw
side
this
eye.
eye, whatever.
I was
It was.
giving a
It was a
compliment.
side eye.
And
No,
look what
I-
you did. And look
I'm
what you
just-
did. You just went into
Oh
a
my
vat
God.
of fat
This
and you
isn't
just
go down.
danced around it.
Ooh, but that sounds sexy.
Thanks so much. Anyway, honestly, watch Smothered. It's so fun and it's so bingeable.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not just for gay communities. It's for everybody.
No, it's not. Wait till you see
Season 2.
Big thank you to our engineer, Tony Sweet.
Yay!
Is this
Social
your
media.
longest show? Is this one of your longest shows?
Oh, no.
No.
It's not. We had Tippi Hedren. It was 2 hours.
Well,
Really?
she kept seeing birds, right?
And Charlie Chaplin.
She saw him? Wow.
He's dead.
Enough said.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ. Big thank you to Mosaic PR. The
Yay!
PR that if you're a superstar or you're coming up, they are your
They're everything.
It actually is emotional because the 10-year memory, PR, Mosaic was the first one
For
to
10
believe in
years?
us. Mosaic was like, we'll send you a client. Let's see.
Oh,
And I was
how
just
nice.
like, it's new. It's podcasting. Anyway, sorry. Okay, everybody, please like, share, subscribe so we can continue bringing this to your way. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay sexy. More importantly, stay smothered.
Ow!
Another
SmotheredTV.com.
episode of On the Rocks. Tweet me and slide into my DMs on Twitter and Instagram at On the Rocks On Air. Find everything On the Rocks for free at OnTheRocksRadioshow.com. Subscribe, like, review, and share. Until next week, stay fabulous.